What's up, Booba Tubers? Sniffty Dugan here. Once again, your pal Sniffty. We're going to talk about a HOG chapter. And today's topic is going to be the head road captain. What that job entails, and basically how I do it. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon. We'll be right back. Okay, the first thing that a head road captain is responsible for is the ride calendar. It could be in some chapters they have one ride a week. At our largest calendar that we had about, 3 rides a week at one point, and it's a lot to manage. You need a lot of road captains to pull that off, and when there's a lot of road captains, there's a lot of moving parts. And part of my job is to keep that calendar in check, because sometimes road captains bail for good reason. Sometimes they got issues at home or work, something happens and they have to cancel their ride. And I don't like to leave an empty spot on the ride calendar if I don't have to. So I would then fill that ride slot with somebody else if I can get a volunteer to do a ride that day. Right, so managing the ride calendar is a big deal. And how we do that is the beginning of the year, usually the end of January, we'll have a road captains meeting. We'll get everybody in the room. I tell them to come to the meeting with 2 ride ideas for that year. And then it's a slugfest. Who gets the dates they want? Sometimes the rides that these people want to do are on specific dates and times. For instance, Hot Rods and Harleys in Rahway, New Jersey is usually second week in May, second Saturday in May. Well, if somebody else wants to do a ride that day, then you start slugging it out. Maybe they can't do it next week, they have to do it this week, and so on. So it's always fun, and the more guys in the room, the bigger the battle. But it's never it's never heated. It's just a lot of fun. So that's the big thing. To get that calendar set up, I use my Google account. Honestly, it makes it simple. They have calendars there, integrates with Gmail, and I keep everybody's name and rides that they're doing and the dates, and keep it all marked down. If it changes, I'll change it there. And then, of course, when things change, now you got to get in touch with the webmaster and the director. Let them know this has changed. You got to change it on the website, because we have to relay this information, this ride information, to the webmaster so he could build out all the pages for the rides, so people know what's entailed. Start place, where we're going for food, maybe it's a destination, there's an event or something, the price, right? All that information is on the webpage, so people know what to expect when they show up that day, how far the ride is. If excuse me, if you're looking for a road captain video, I'll put it above. I go through in detail how to road captain, what you need to do for at least a HOG chapter or a riding club. So the calendar is an important thing. Now, the second important thing is safety. The road captain and the head road captain are responsible for the safety of all the members on the rides. Right? Safety officer does not do that. It's the road captain's and the head road captain's job to make sure that these rides go off in a safe manner. And that could be, as an example, we used to leave out of a rest area on the Garden State Parkway. And that was really, really a nail biter every time we got out of there. You enter the parkway, and this section of parkway is 5 lanes wide on both sides. It's huge there. Everybody's jockeying for position. Who's going to New York? Who's going north in New Jersey? And who's going west in New Jersey? It all kind of, it's like a rat's nest of exits over there, and it's really dangerous. And if we have to get all the way left 5 lanes, and it's more than 5 lanes, yeah, it's probably about 8 to 10 lanes wide in this one section. It's crazy. And we would pull out in the fast lane and have to get all the way over left, or right rather, and it was a disaster. So as soon as I got the nod to be the head road captain, that was the first thing I changed. it's dangerous. Somebody's going to get killed. There's better ways to get on the parkway. So what I did was change that, and we started on the parkway in the slow lane about 4 or 5 miles south of there. Right? It's not really that much of a difference, but it's a hell of a lot different when you're actually starting a ride. Everybody's kind of cool, calm, and collected instead of a nail biter and high anxiety. Even the road captains get anxious because it's crazy. The radio is just constant chatter. I need this lane, and it's just it's too risky. So that's part of what a head road captain does, is he looks at these starting locations and makes sure that they're safe. Another thing that you should consider is the liability portion of it. Nobody's going to talk about this. Nobody. And there's real liability here for road captains and head road captains and directors. There is, because God forbid there's an accident and some pinhead lawyer decides he's going to attack the directors and the officers because of the way the route was managed, right? The accident would have never happened if he would have went in this direction, right? It's easy enough to point fingers, and now you're caught up in a lawsuit. So don't get nervous. Harley Davidson corporate understands that is a possibility. We've never had it happen. Hopefully it never will, but it is a possibility. That is the reason for the sign-in sheets. Another job that you have is to make sure that those sign-in sheets are filled out by the road captains. That's an attendance sheet on each ride. Filling those out covers everybody on the ride, specifically the officers and the road captains involved with that ride. So if you do get caught up in a lawsuit, Harley Davidson has insurance that covers us. So fill them out, turn them into the manager at the store, and keep them on file. Keep them in your tour pack, wherever you're going to do, whatever you're going to do. Keep them accessible, just in case, right? Don't ignore it. Also waivers, right? Minors, parents have to assume, or the adults, the guardians have to assume liability for that minor. Also waivers for non-members. Everybody's allowed to bring a guest, but they absolutely should be signing a waiver, because they can sue you too. But if you didn't have them sign a waiver, you're not covered by the insurance. So make sure that you dot the I's and cross the T's. It's pretty important. It's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. It's just that there is a formality to the process, and you're better off following it than blowing it off. Another responsibility could just be something, simple. Monthly meetings. I'll go over each of the rides for that month with the membership, right? Stand up and talk about the rides, and if the road captains are in attendance, I'll have them go into more detail about what's happening, where it's happening, how much it costs, etc., the time span, how long it's going to take to get there and back, what time you're going to be expected to be home, and so on and so forth. Another thing is training. You're recruiting road captains. That's part of your job as well, is getting new road captains into the mix, showing them what to do and how to do it. And that's why I built the YouTube video, just basically on how to road captain, to save myself a lot of time and and aggravation. Here, go watch this video, watch it 2 or 3 times, write everything down that you need to do. It's all right there. So I saved myself a lot of aggravation by getting that video out there. So training is a big deal. Recruiting is a big deal as well. Another thing to consider is leadership. People look to you on these rides. The road captain's in charge of his own ride. And me personally, I'll never step on a road captain unless I see something really, really blatantly, obviously wrong, and he's not picking up on it. I will absolutely say something. I will also make sure that the pre-ride happens. And if the road captain misses a point or two and I pick up on it, I'll wait to the end, and I'll add maybe a couple of sentences or two. Most of the time I don't have to. Our road captains have been doing this for a long time, but if it's a new guy and he's a little nervous, he might forget to say a few things about hand signals and going over that and just going over the route a little bit. When you're nervous, you tend to forget some of the more important features, or factoids, I should say. Okay, well that's a wrap on the head road captain. That's most of the responsibilities that you have to look forward to. It's not that big of a deal. It does require some time in the beginning of the year to get all that calendar work together, but after that it kind of smooths out, and you're doing your monthly meetings and you're on the ride, so you're enjoying yourself and just kind of watching over everybody. Everybody knows what to do at this point, so you don't really have any jobs to do, unless the only time that I've ever had to, I guess, get called into action was there just was a really bad rider, really bad, and he was putting people at risk, so I had to pull him on the side and just have a discussion, and it was a friendly discussion, and letting him know that, look, this is how we need you to ride. You need to be predictable, right? So you are the overlord, but you can't act like the overlord, otherwise people will hate you. You need to be very diplomatic, right? Well, Sniffty Dugan signing off. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification.